Even the sheet.
Yeah, it's happened before. Don't worry. So okay, we're in 45a, in the middle of a very long Mishnah, which is broken up in the Mishnayos as 8 or 9 Mishnayos. So we are by Rabbi Yehuda Omer.
He's always popping up. Oh, Mr.
Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda.
Mr. Omer.
Mr. Omer, that's funny. So Rabbi Yehuda says. So basically, we're just talking about you have a nowadays you'd be a cashier, and you go and either one of two cases. Either you claim that I guess we'll start from the period. Amar lechenvani, a guy told the storekeeper, "Tainli bedinner Paris, give me a dinner worth of fruits." V'nasan lo, and he gave him a bunch of fruits. So Amar lo, tainli also dinner. Okay, like I gave you your fruits, so give me the money. Amar lo, he told him, I gave you the money. I put it right in your cash register, or I put it in your wallet. Amar lo nasati loch v'nasati be'onapli, into your wallet or your purse, your pouch. So what happens? What happens? Yishava balabayis shenas knows a dinner. The balabayis makes us swear that he did give him the dinner, and therefore he can collect his fruits. Amrlo tainli asaperos. Now the shopper, the consumer, says, give me the fruits. Amrlo, I already gave you the fruits, and I put it in, and you took it in, and you took it home with you, and you forgot. I don't know what happened, but I gave you the fruits already. So what happens now? Yishava chenvani. The chenvani makes a shvua that he already gave the fruits, and therefore the consumer has to go and give him a dinner and give him the money. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. So the way Rashi learns to go on the first case of these two cases of where the consumer says, I already gave you the money. So Rabbi Yehuda says, no. Anybody who has the fruits by him, kol shaperos biyado, yado al yanu. Whoever has the fruits in his possession, so he has the upper hand, so to speak. Meaning, the store owner doesn't give up his produce before he gets his money. So therefore, if he has the produce in his hands, so he's going to be exempt from making the shua. He's not going to have to make a shua. Fine. Now switching from going to a store to going to a money changer. Everyone goes to Israel, you got to change your money. So back then, instead of, nowadays also, I guess, but instead of foreign exchange, you had big coins and small coins. So you don't want to walk around with these big $50. You want to exchange it into pennies. And nowadays we do the opposite. We give the pennies for the big coins, whatever it is. So he says, Amr l'shulchan, he tells the money changer, Tainli bedinner. Dinner was a bigger coin. Give me bedinner ma'os. I'll give you ma'os, small coins, and you give me a big coin. I'll give you 4 quarters. You give me $1, or you give me at least a silver dollar, let's say. So now v'nasan lo. So he gave it to him. So Amar lo. So okay. So Tainli has a dinner. So I'm claiming I gave you the small coins. I'm waiting to get my big coin back. So the guy says, Amar lo nasati lach. I gave you the big coin and I put it in your wallet. But nasatu and polio, really, you put it in your wallet. So what happens? Yishava balabayis. The balabayis makes a shvua that he never received his big coin and that he gave his small coins, and therefore he gets his money. The other way around, Nasan lo is a dinner. The money changer says, I gave you the dinner, the big coin. Amar lo, give me the small coins. I gave you my big coin, give me the small coins. Amar lo, nasati lach v'shlach lo tokisecha. I gave it to you, you threw it into your pocket already. So now what happens? Yishava shulchani, the money changer makes a shvua that he never received the small coins and that he gave the big coin. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, ein derech shulchani, litein iser ad she'itol dinner. Rabbi Yehuda says it's not the way of a money changer to give up his bigger coin until he gets the smaller coins, right? You don't give up your bigger coins. It keeps you in business that you have all these bigger coins. So therefore, that's not going to. He does not need to make a shvua because that's not so likely.
It used to be that when we did exchanges with cash, the cashier would put your bill on the cash register, so you could see it, pulled out the drawer, and made the change before he put your bill in. So nowadays, when we do everything with credit card to see if they get overcharged or not.
Right. Interesting. Okay, more about rabbinical oaths. So kishem shamru, just like we said, hapogemes b'ksuvasa. So pogemes is literally to cause some kind of it means here to deduct, meaning the lady says you owe me the ksuba. He said, I paid you already. She says, Well, I received part of it. I didn't receive the whole thing, not all 1,000. I received 500. So that one who does that, you're putting the document into question, because that document that says I owe you 1,000, you're admitting to me it's not so valid. It's only really 500. So therefore, lo tipara ela b'shvua. If she wants to collect the rest of it, she has to make an oath. Ve'ed echad me'ida shehi prua lo tipara ela b'shvua. If one witness comes and says that it was paid, so then that it was paid. I guess what it was paid partially. I guess paid partially. So then also lo tipara ela b'shvua. If one witness says yes, you got paid 500, she has to make a shvua on the remainder. Now, whenever you collect from real estate, minachasim mishbadim, or from the property of orphans, lo tipara ela b'shvua, you have to make an oath. I'm assuming we're going to talk about all these cases. If you're paying back not in front of shelo b'fanav, you got paid back not in front of the husband, the ksuba, but not in front of the husband. Whatever, pick up the money over there in that location. So lo tipara ela b'shvua. To collect, you also need a shvua. V'chein hayisomim, orphans lo yiparu ela b'shvua. So the yisomim lo yiparu ela b'shvua, when they come and the yisomim they are collecting, they're getting paid only with a shvua. Now, the orphans are collecting for their father. Now, maybe their father got paid back already. How does the other guy know? Mm-hmm. They're coming, well, our father never got paid back. Oh, maybe he did. So they have to make an oath. Our father never instructed us about this loan. He didn't tell us anything about this loan that he got paid back. We never found in our father's ledgers and his documents anywhere that this was paid up. So they have to come and make sure that they make an oath that they never heard of this debt of their father being paid up. Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka Omer, even a child born after the death of the father, he also has to make an oath and collect. If you have witnesses that when the father was dying, he takes it without making a shvua, because you have witnesses saying that the document has not been paid up. So then that's much more definite. So therefore, you don't have to make an oath to collect it. You have two witnesses on your side. Okay, now, usually to make an oath, you have to have a definite claim. You owe me money, you haven't paid me yet, something definite. The following, that's usually called a tainas bari. Bari is like a definite claim. Then you have a tainas shema. Shema means perhaps. Yeah, maybe. So now you have people that will swear even though it's not so definite. So I think the Gemara is talking about this more, but it doesn't mean without a claim. Without a claim, nobody makes a swear. It means without a definite claim, without something of that's definite. So which people would have to swear even in such a case? So that is the following people: shutfin, partners that now want their percentage, or they claim that you owe them X amount of money. Ha'arisin, sharecroppers. Apotropin, usually people administrators, yeah, the power of attorney is the POAs nowadays. The Ha'isha, sorry, the Isha that's, I guess, dealing in the house. I'm not sure what that case is.
Buys and sells for her husband.
Oh, she buys and sells for her husband, thank you. Uben Abayis, the guy who lives in the house, the live-in, he's always at the house. So, Amar Lo, you say to him, Ma'ata Tonini, Ritoni Sheti Shavali Chayev. So the guy's claiming money on him, he's in charge of the dealings, all of a sudden something came up, so therefore he's allowed to say, I want you to make an oath to me. So, and he would have to make an oath to him. So I think the Gemara is going to talk about these cases. Chelko hashutfin v'harisin ein yachol hashbiyo. So two partners, I guess they're fighting about a portion. They're arguing about their portions, or sharecroppers are fighting about how much they're owed. So ein yachol hashbiyo. You can't make one partner, can't make another partner make an oath. Why not? I'm not sure yet. I have to find out. And sharecroppers can't do that either. However, nizgalgalo shvua mimakom acher, what we call to roll on, like galgalim is a wheel, right? So to roll on, you could roll on a shvua from somewhere else. If you're already obligated one shvua, you could roll on this shvua too. to see more about that also. So nizgalga lo shua melkom acher magagan levas akol. Once we're rolling on, so to speak, a shua from somewhere else, then you'll roll on everything. You're all on this also. Okay, last part of the Mishnah. I think the Gemara will talk about it at the very end. Shvius mishametis as a shua. If somehow there's a loan and you're owed and you have to make an oath, and now Shemitah comes, it can nullify the oath as well. Not just the loan, but it can nullify your obligation to make the oath.
You haven't made the oath yet.
Exactly.
But if you've made the oath, you're done.
Yeah, you're done. Exactly. Yeah. So you're owed money or he owes you money. Okay. So now, Kol hanishbayin shebetorah. All the biblical oaths are nishbayin v'lo mishalmin. It's always an oath to exempt yourself. It's never, you're not going to find a biblical oath that you make an oath and you collect. It's always an oath to exempt yourself. Nishba v'lo mishalmin. You make an oath and now you don't need to pay. Minalon. How do I know that? The verse there talks about oaths. Belakav baila v'lo yishalim. So now this starts in the middle of a verse, but it talks about the shvua being there, about the watchman has to make a shvua that he didn't touch the object at all, and then the owner gets it, v'lo yishalim, and the person that made the oath does not need to pay. Says the Gemara, Misha olav l'shalem lo shvua. The one who it's upon him, it's incumbent upon him to make an oath, to pay, upon him it's incumbent to make an oath. So it's always the one who has to pay who's making an oath that he's exempt. It's never going to be the guy collecting biblically. However, rabbinically, we just had a whole list of oaths that are rabbinic. So now, the elu nishbayin minothan, a whole bunch of people get to make an oath and collect. One of those people is a worker. So ma'ishna sakar, why a worker all of a sudden he merited that to collect his money, he gets an oath. Now, this is one of these Gemaras where if you're testing someone to get into your yeshiva, this is one of those fun Gemaras because it's going to be back and forth every 3 words. Back and forth and back and forth.
So I swear you owe me $10.
I swear you owe me $10.
Because I'm working.
Correct, exactly. So now, how do we know why did the rabbis impose an oath upon the boss? If the workers come and say, I never got paid, he can make an oath and collect his money. So Amar Yehuda Amar Shmuel, so it's like a little bit parenthetical. Halachos gedolo shanukan. So we taught big laws over here. Okay, that doesn't give you an answer why a worker is special. And now we're parenthetically picking up on the word halachos. Halachos usually implies halacha Moshe Misinai. It's something that was taught from Moshe at Mount Sinai. This wasn't taught there. So halachas gdola shanukan. So halachos, honey, hilchas anenu. Are these halachas Moshe Misinai? These are rabbinic oaths. Ela ema, no. Takanos, not big halachos, rather great enactments. Shanukan. Sounds like there's great enactments and then there's less great enactments. What does that mean? Gedolos michlal dikaktanos. There's big enactments and small enactments. An enactment is an enactment. What does it mean? A big law or a big thing or a small thing? Ella, no, what it means is like this. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Shmuel, Takanos kvuo shanukan. There are certain established enactments that were taught here, which was akru rabbanon l'shvum b'balabayis. The rabbi, so to speak, uprooted the oath from the balabayis, b'shadyu asachir, and they took it and they placed it upon the worker. Why? Mishum kidei chayav. Right now, the Gemara assumes because of his livelihood, the guy has to live. So because he has to live, if he doesn't get paid, so what's he going to do? He has to live. Says Mishum kidei chayav desachir concealing the balabayis. Because the worker has to live because he needs money to support his family, the balabayis gets penalized. He says, I did pay the guy. He says, you never paid me. Oh no, you have to live. So make an oath and collect your money. Well, that's not fair. So concealing the balabayis. So we say no. Balabayis gufay nichale the mishtaba sacher v'shakil. It's good for the boss that the employer makes the employee makes an oath and collects. Why? In order that more workers will go work for him. You see, if you have any dispute about money, you can make an oath and collect your money. So this is a great boss to work for. Whenever I feel I didn't get paid, so they'll just make an oath and collect. So the boss is happy that a guy feels he can make an oath and collect. He'll get more workers. So Adarabba, go the other way. Sachir nichale dilashava balabayis. The worker, it's better for him that the balabayis makes a shua, v'nifka, and is exempt from paying, ki heichi deligre balabayis, in order that the balabayis will hire the workers out. Because listen, if you're a guy who every time you're going to complain, you're going to make an oath and collect, we're not going to want to hire you. So it's better for the worker to have the owner make an oath. I don't want to make an oath. If I'm making it sounds like I'm a troublemaker now. Every time someone hires me out, I'm making oaths and collecting my money, but no one's going to want to hire me. So the worker wants the owner to make the oath. So balabayis al korche agar. Well, the balabayis has to hire people, so he has no choice. I mean, he needs workers. He's going to hire people regardless, even if they're not the best workers. He needs workers. So okay. Sachir nami, but the worker nami al korche miskar. Well, he also has to work no matter what because he needs money. So we're stuck. Ella, the reason why the worker makes the oath and not the owner is because balabai is tarid b'polahu. The owner is very busy with his workers. He has a lot of workers. It's very easy that he might have forgotten that he paid one of them. He has so many workers, he's busy. So now Tosfos points out, he has so many workers in the plural. But let's say the guy has one worker. So now he's not busy. Well, what's on his head? One guy's paycheck. That's it. So for that, there should be no oath imposed. Only when you have many workers or plural of workers that now you're occupied. Tosfos says, yeah, but once you made an oath for many workers, you make it for one worker also. We don't. It's called a low plug. It's an enactment across the board. An employee gets to make an oath. It feels he has to get paid. But just interesting aside. Okay, so really the owner is busy with so many workers, and therefore we assume that he might have forgotten that he actually paid the guy, and therefore the oath goes on the worker, on the employee, not on the employer. So now, says the Gemara, I have a much better solution. V'leisivlei below shvua. Why don't you just not make a shvua? So just collect the money. If we trust the employee so much that he didn't get paid, and we assume the employer is so busy with all of his payrolls, so all with payroll, so just collect without the oath. So says the Gemara, well, no, because the balabais wants to be appeased. He wants to know that he actually didn't pay back money. He's gonna be always thinking that maybe he cheated the guy, or maybe the guy cheated him. This way, it's fair and square. He makes an oath. The balabais realizes, he's making an oath. I guess I really didn't pay him, and therefore he doesn't have to live with the guilt. So okay. So now says Gemara, why don't you just v'leisiv le'be'edim? Whenever you pay your workers, have two witnesses there, and therefore you'll avoid the whole idea of an oath because you have two witnesses there, and that'll solve all the problems. The problem is who's going to always get two witnesses available? People are busy. People have work. So trichle milsa. So getting two witnesses is no one's gonna want to hire workers or work for anybody anymore. If every time you got to pay them, you got to get two witnesses. Yeah, your Friday 5 p.m. there aren't two witnesses available. So, okay, v'leisav le'mikara. Why don't you just pay him ahead of time? Pay that month's paycheck meaning the first of the month for the future month. Not at the end. No, shnehem rotzen ba'kafa. Both the worker and the owner both want credit, meaning the owner doesn't always have fast cash available. So that's that. And the worker, why would the worker not want to get paid from the beginning? I guess that he shouldn't spend the money right away. That he shouldn't spend the money right away. No, is that what it says? No. Sounds like they shouldn't spend the money until should be the last bit of the page. The very last footnote on the page. Was there?
Since it's been undue imposition, it's more reasonable to let the employee collect under oath.
Okay, so I think that's what it's saying, that they both want credit because the owner doesn't always have fast cash, and the employer, he doesn't want to spend all his money right away.
It says also, furthermore, work seems cumbersome to an employee since he's already been paid.
Oh, I see.
That's interesting.
He doesn't enjoy his.
That's right.
Doesn't enjoy his work as much.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You're working for something; it's easier. You already got paid.
Yeah.
Got the carrot in front of you.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Thank goodness for PayPal.
That's right. Turning the page. Ihachi afilu katzatznami. If it's because the owner is so busy with his work that that they put the oath on the employer, so then even when you have an established rate, there's a certain amount that was set out, so then that case you should always require an oath when there's any dispute among the paycheck, even if it was already set ahead of time. And yet we find Alama Tanya, the Brisa said, Uman Omer Shtaim Katatzli, the Halo Omer Lo Katasi Ala Achas. You're gonna owe me 2. You owe me 2. That was the deal. And he said, no, I only established that we're gonna pay you 1, not 2. $100, not $200. So the halacha is Hamoti Mechaver Olavaraya. If you want to get more money out of the employer, then you have to bring a proof. If he says I owe you $100 and not 200, if you think you get 200, so then you should go bring a proof. So says Gemara, 1 second. Well, how come all of a sudden it's on the guy to bring a proof? It's a dispute about how much you got paid, and so you should have to just make an oath and collect. So what's the difference? Well, until now we've been talking about did I get paid or did I not get paid? Here the dispute is everyone agrees you got paid. The question is how much you got paid. How much did you get paid? On that the Gemara says no. Ktsitsa vadai mitkir dakir lei. Even though the owner is busy with payroll, but he's going to remember if he owes the guy $100,000 or $80,000. The numbers he doesn't forget. So when they make a fight about how much the numbers are, that even a guy who's busy remembers. That he's not going to forget. Oh yeah, you're right. It wasn't 100,000 or whatever. It was actually 200,000. He's not going to make that mistake. Ihachi, if that's true, what if payday passed? What happens then? A dispute that I get paid or not? The payday's long gone. Payday was the first of the month, already the 10th of the month, and now a fight breaks out. So the Gemara says, well, just make an oath and collect your money. No. Ihachi, if you love Nami, you should also just take an oath and collect your money. Alama Tanya, why the prices say, Aversmano below nasan lo hareze eno nishma v'notel. If the time passed and he didn't get the money, he cannot make an oath anymore and get the money. Why? Chazaka ein balabayas over bebal talin. Answer is, we have a presumption that a balabayas does not violate the biblical prohibition of delaying payment. Fascinating. So I heard an interesting thing. Like, let's say you have to, you owe your workers money, or you should buy matzah for Pesach. Which, yeah, right? Which one takes precedent? Things like that.
To buy matzah.
That's interesting. Yes, my matzah also. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So Baal Talin, to pay, right? I like to say the Chafetz Chaim, he came back from the mikveh with the wagon. And they saw him. He was dancing around his kitchen table, whatever dining room table. They asked him, "Why are you so happy?" He said, "What do you mean? I just paid my worker on time." He was thrilled. He did a mitzvah. It's a biblical mitzvah. Pays worker on time. He was very happy.
We can go dancing now because we paid our gardener today.
That's right. So V'hamers Balabayis. You told me the Balabayis is Tarid B'Po'olav. He's so busy with payroll. He doesn't have time, and maybe therefore the oath should go on the worker. And yet we say, no, there's a chazaka. He's not going to be over. He's not going to violate this mitzvah. So, yeah, he's busy with his payroll before the time comes. But when the time is nearing of payroll, he will not violate. He will not violate the mitzvah of Bal Talin, or the prohibition to not pay your worker to pay him late. He's not going to do that. So therefore, if it's after payday, we do not assume that he didn't pay them. Rather, we assume he did pay them. And therefore, you can't just take an oath and collect. Okay, but what about the actual worker? The over mishum bal tigzel? What the employee? Well, are we assuming he's going to be violate the issur of stealing? He's claiming I didn't get paid money. We don't assume he's stealing, so let him make an oath and collect. He says no, but gabe balabayis, there's 2 things going for him. There's 2 very strong presumptions. First of all, chada balabayis over bal talin. The balabayis, the owner, the employer, will not violate paying your workers late. So therefore, if it's past the due date, we assume he paid them already. V'chada, and the other one, the ein sacher masha scharo. The worker does not wait to come and say, I never got paid. Payday comes, he needs his money. He's not waiting 2 months and be like, oh, by the way, I need money. So therefore, those are 2 things going for the balabayis, and therefore, if payday has passed, then you cannot make an oath and collect your money. Amar of Nachman, Amar Shmuel, Lo shanu ela shescharu be'edim. This is all true when you did not hire with witnesses. Aval scharu shelo be. So when you hired with witnesses, aval scharu shelo be'edim, if you didn't hire the guy with any witnesses, mitok shachalomer lo secharticha meolam, yachalomer lo secharticha menasati lo scharecha. What we call a migu. If there's no witnesses there and a fight breaks out and he says, I never got my money, well, he could have said, I never hired you in the first place. So from the fact that he could have said, I never hired you, when he says, I hired you and I paid you, we should believe him. Because he could have kept quiet. And if he wanted to lie, he could have had a much better lie. I don't know who you are. Get out of here. There's no witnesses here. So this whole dispute is only when you were hired with witnesses. Only then do we say that you have the ability to make an oath and collect the money. Amar le Rabbi Yitzchak Yasher. We had this actually. It's going to copy and paste from earlier. Rabbi Yitzchak said, very good, like Yasher Koach, great. V'chein amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan also said, very good. Ooh, Rabbi Yochanan said it. It sounds like his famous Chavrusa Reish Lakish argued on him. Michlal de Palagler Reish Lakish. So we had this earlier. Ika de Amri Mishta Vishasile. No, not that he argues. He was drinking. His mouth was full, so he didn't have a chance to respond. Or right? Either he Reish Lakish would wait till the end of Rabbi Yochanan's statement, and then he would respond. The guy who was there who recorded this left in the middle. He never heard Reish Lakish's response. So you have no proof that Reish Lakish argued on this. We're just saying that Rabbi Yochanan said this well. Okay, one more minute. Itmar Nami, a similar Emoraic statement defending this. Now, Amar Rav Menashe bar Zvid, Amar Rav says, so Rav and Shmuel, they're both going to say this. Lo shanu ela shescharu be'edim, aval scharu shelo be'edim, mitok shachalomer lo sechartich me'olam, yachalomer lo sechartich v'nasati lo scharecha. Rav, along with Shmuel, said that when they come, the guy hired workers with no witnesses, and now he says, I never got paid, and the owner says, I paid you back, says, since the owner could have said, I don't know who you are, when he says, I hired you and paid you, he should be believed, because if he wanted to lie, he could have lied much better. Amar Rami Bar Chama, Kama Ma'alya Hashmaitza. How beautiful and great is this teaching? So, okay, we'll continue tomorrow from Amar Le Rava. Well, the